Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man back for another figure review. Now, today we have the man himself. The many would call him a myth, some would call him a legend. It's Jonah Jameson. Now, I'm pretty sure this Marvel Legends came out at least maybe a year ago. Now, I've been wanting to get these figures, and I just never bit the bullet and just purchased them. And now, got a couple of them on sale, so of course we gotta pick them up. Now, this guy, he's not bad. For Jonah Jameson, I'm pretty sure it passes. And I think this whole kind of retro Spider-Man wave I really like, and I'm not going to be doing reviews on all of the figures I get from it, but I'll do a couple here and there that I like and see fit. So we'll move this guy out of the way and kind of show what I guess you call the box. They come in these cards, and it would have the plastic on the front holding them in. I decided just to saw it off. I don't know, I felt like it would be easier for the review. It's got this classic Spider-Man logo. I think these boxes all look really good, and they do bring back that nostalgia of the originals. Paid $22.99 for this man at GameStop. But I think it looks all cool. Got some classic Jonah art on the front. Get a little bit of a close-up. I think I like these boxes. The only problem is they're a little goofy if you wanted to keep them. Like, I just have a big piece of cardboard now, which I guess every box really is if you think about it. But we don't have to. We got things to do. So we'll move on to the paint and sculpt on this guy, bringing it in. I think the paint is quite good on him. I had two to compare, and I got the best paint out of both of them. There isn't much paint, but when there is, it's not bad. The face looks pretty decent, and that is the only problem I have with the figure, is that there is only this face, and I feel like with Jonah, there is a wide range of faces he makes, and I feel like we could have gotten at least one interchangeable head, maybe like a shocked one, or like one with a cigar in his mouth or something. Just an interchangeable head would have been nice, but I think we did get a good amount of accessories for it, and even with that, I think he's still a good enough Jonah Jameson to fit for really any time period, because his outfit changes from time to time, but I think the sculpting on this one, it looks good enough where it could really just pass for anything. And the vest here, you can actually take it off. It's made of like a mushy plastic, and so is the tie here. Well, you know what, we'll take it off here. We'll strip him down a little bit. Now, I'm not the best doing this, so it may take a moment. Try and be swift here. Watch out for paint rub if you do this. There you go. This is the look he has in Maximum Carnage, which is what I use him for, so I will be having him without the vest. But you can see, look at the vest a little bit nicer. Some of the looks like there should be a lot more paint detail on it, like there's buckles and straps that are not painted at all, the pockets and the buttons, which kind of sucks, but I think it doesn't even look that bad anyway. You could probably get like a silver Sharpie and just touch up the buttons and it would look really good. Don't have a silver Sharpie, so I can't do that, but it's fine. So now we'll start to go a little bit into the articulation here. I'm pretty sure, just to say it again, I think this body is reuse, so I don't think anything crazy new is here. There really isn't that much paint on it either. Just before we go on, I want to get one more close-up. The belt is done. That's really it. There's not really paint anywhere else, but it does look good nonetheless. Even with no paint, it's not bad. Just kind of means less room for paint scuffs. So moving over to articulation, we'll start at the head here. Oh, big man looks up very far for all those times he'd be looking at Spider-Man. He looks down pretty good for all those times he's looking at pictures of Spider-Man. Of course, it's on a ball joint, so you get some left to right, all the way around, whatever you want to do with this man. At the shoulder, this guy comes a little bit clicky. He's a little bit tight too. Don't want to mention nothing about it. Goes all the way around. It comes up pretty nicely without, I don't think the vest changes articulation at all. Maybe with the ab crunch, it'll just look a little weird. But I don't think that changed anything. Then at the bicep here, got a nice little bicep swivel. This I don't like. They gave him a single jointed elbow, and then they have it so that it pegs in there so you get a rotation. I'm not a fan of that. I would have way rather they just had the usual Marvel Legends double jointed elbow scheme. I feel like it would have looked much better. And it it just looks bad when it's bent, and it doesn't even go that far. I feel like J. Jonah needs some articulation. They kind of went out on it. At the hand here, he's got some up and down, a little bit of swivel, the usual hand articulation. At the wrist, or not the wrist, wrong part. At the diaphragm, I guess here, he's got a nice little ab crunch. Goes forward pretty decently. It goes back for if he ever gets kicked in the back, I guess. There's a waist swivel, not too bad. A lot of this stuff is quite tight, so be careful. Marvel Legends, I have known, they break quite easily fresh out of the box, so be very careful with them. Leg kicks forward that far, not back at all. Don't look at the cheeks. They go out, not very good at all either. Ugh, this articulation. He's got a nice little swivel at the thigh here. Double jointed knee, works pretty decently. Doesn't look the best, but not the worst. And then this part right here, I am not a fan of. His shoes, they suck. He cannot stand up for the life of him. But they go, this is as far forward as they go. They go far back. The way this foot is made, the heel, I guess, kind of goes over it, and it gets a little bit extra articulation. And then, of course, we got a nice little ankle pivot. Not too bad. But like I said, the problem is, I don't know what's up with, it might be the sculpting of his feet, but he really just doesn't stand up very well at all. And I'm not really a fan of that, because a lot of the time I have this guy posed, or I would have him posed standing up, pointing at someone, standing up doing something. And it just doesn't really work because he doesn't stand up too well. But moving on to what I think is probably the best part of the figure is the accessories. That I think that makes up for all the shortcomings on the rest of this stuff. So I'll start with interchangeable hands. I'll just leave them. For the first hand, we got his pointing hand. You know, I want pictures of Spider-Man today. That's what he says with this. And like usual, all Marvel Legends hands, super easy to change out. Just pop them and plug them, and now he's got them. This hand actually does have a side-to-side hinge instead of a forward and back. Because, ooh, just knocked the light over. Because if you, I guess they want him to be pointing up and down instead of left and right, which I guess it works. And I do think this hand looks huge, but it fits perfectly for, I guess, the cartoony look of J. Jonah himself. And then the other interchangeable hand he has is just a fist for the other side, which I wish they would have given us a fist for both sides. And I also would have wished we had a pointing finger for both sides, but I think gripping hand for both sides and fist would have been nice with just the one pointing out. It would have been perfect. But they didn't give us the other side hand for the fist, which sucks. I'm not a fan of that either. I think they didn't give us all the good stuff we could have got. I'm about to start doing this as my cartoon character OC. If he crosses the arms, you know I'm serious. But I do think they could have added just a couple more accessories to even it out. Would have been perfect. Like literally one more hand, maybe a head if I'm pushing it. But it's not something that I can complain about too much, because he does come with a couple more things here. We'll start with the little one, I guess. He's got a rolled up Daily Bugle newspaper here. Besides from the Daily Bugle in the front, there is no paint at all, and it looks pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of, there's a 2 right there. I don't know why there's a 2 molded in right there. Don't know the point of that. And there's a lot of mold lines and stuff, but when you have it in his hand, it looks good. And all you see, if you point the Daily Bugle out, you're looking perfect. Not too bad at all. Let me get a better look. Ooh, yeah. All right. So moving on to, well, actually, I'll show it. This is how you hold it. He just has this gripping hand. You just stick it in there. Boom. Now he's got it. He's got his newspaper. He's pointing at you. Looking pretty good. And that's why I think the lack of accessories isn't that bad. Because when you give him what he's got, he looks really good. Now, here we got the last accessory he comes with, the Daily Bugle poster, maybe just a piece of newspaper. With I really like this. It looks really good, and I like the Spider-Man on the front page. The only problem I have with it is that it's got actual figures on it. Like, they used figures to make the newspaper, which it's not the worst, but I kind of would have just preferred having, like, a realistic Spider-Man. Well, not realistic, but comic Spider-Man or something, like a drawn one instead of an actual figure. But I really can't complain because it looks really good, and I kind of just put it up on the wall. Like, I guess, I don't know if newspaper offices actually do this, but they have like posters on the wall or whatever of articles, maybe, I'm not too sure, something like that, and I kind of had it up on the wall like that behind him, and it didn't look bad whatsoever. But that is it for accessories. Let me just kind of flung them. Let me put them in a pile over here. I think this newspaper accessory is really good, and if you have like a Marvel Legends, I guess, kind of Daily Bugle display, it wouldn't look bad at all because it would fit it right in. It would fit perfectly with the rest. But with me, I'm like mixing everything. Mix a little bit of Mafex, a little bit of Marvel Legends, and it looks a little goofy when you have Marvel Legends Spider-Man in the newspaper, but I cannot complain. So now moving on to comparisons for this guy, probably the most important part, because I don't know a single person who wants Jonah Jameson alone. Well, there are a handful of people, but not to be mentioned today. So moving into comparisons, we'll start with a couple of Mafex figures over here. We got Mafex Spider-Man and Mafex Carnage for our maximum Carnage references. Don't want them to fall. I don't really know how how tall he's supposed to be. I'm not too sure. I think this doesn't really work. I don't know. I feel like might be same height as Peter Parker, kind of works. But I don't know if Carnage is supposed to be that big. I don't even know. But I think they look good together. If you have them in like posed all up, they look really good together. Even if the scaling isn't right. All right. So because I got a couple of handfuls to do here, we'll speed it up. Moving on for some more Marvel Legends type. We got a couple of the classic villains here. My man Green Goblin and Mysterio. And I think these guys look really, really good together too. I feel like this is where he'll probably shine, is with his Marvel Legends friends. Because then all the joints and stuff looks uniform. They all look the same like that. And it looks really, really good. Sadly, I do not have the Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the super good one, to compare him to here. That's it's all right. That's sad, but it's all right. We'll move on to the next one. So now, just for more of a random comparison, got Jason over here, and for the next review, because I haven't been doing that, at the end here we got, I guess, Peter Parker. We got Peter Parker, the casual Peter Parker. It is the same line, and I think these two look really good together because I'm pretty sure they're made to be together. This is the Daily Bugle setup right here. We got the boys coming in and Jason. I guess he's the one that's getting the picture taken of him. And I think this is where he looks really good. If you have him like, I need pictures of Spider-Man. Give me pictures of Spider-Man. I need pictures of Spider-Man. I think it just fits perfectly with the Peter Parker. Now, let me get these guys out of the way, and I'll do a little bit of a final thoughts kind of thing here. Because I gotta say, this J. Jonah is quite a good figure. For our first J. Jonah Jameson figure, I think it works really well. It is perfectly what we've needed for this whole time, and I think if we get a re-release, they could add some more stuff that would be, like, fix this and make it perfect. Or just give the stuff that we would have wanted out of this one in the next one and just kind of kit bash them both together. That's kind of what Marvel Legends does a lot of the time. You just wait until you can make exactly what you want. But thank you guys so much for watching. I gotta say, this was a great figure. I think it fits perfectly. He's got a good look. Get a nice close-up on him, looking sexy. I think he is probably one of the better Marvel Legends. Well, probably just in my opinion, because figure-wise, he's pretty bad. But character-wise, he's got all the heart J. Jonah Jameson has in the books. So, thank you guys so much for watching. The next review is going to be the casual Peter Parker. And I'll see you guys in that one when J. Jonah Jameson stops wanting pictures of Spider-Man.